Coach Pat Noonan ahead of Saturday's game against DC United. Carter, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coming off of Wednesday and having such a quick turn into Saturday after a quick turn Sunday, I guess I was wondering, do you have any new thoughts that you've been able to sit on that Wednesday game and come at it from a night's sleep?
No new thoughts. We had good discussions and about what went wrong, and I think like I've said before with this group, they're honest about their assessment of themselves and and the group. So another chance to bounce back quickly. So that's that.
You answered it just a little bit there, but you mentioned on Wednesday you're going to have some conversations about where this club is going, the goals that you guys have, I guess, not reassessing, but readdressing them. Do you feel like you've had those conversations and came up with them in a way you're pleased with?
No, it's just about what, if we're going to achieve our goals, the performances can't look like they did in the second half. And I don't think anybody was surprised by that in our own conversations. So, yeah, I think maybe in the aftermath of the game, that was probably a little bit more emotional than I typically am, but I was frustrated with how we managed that game. And I don't foresee us being a team that has too many periods where it looks like that. But understanding if we want to achieve our goals, how do we be more consistent? We've done good things with the ball in the last couple of games, and then we let ourselves down defensively. And prior to that, we were pretty strong defensively, but we got to put it all together. And that's where I think we haven't had that consistency. So I like the way we talked about it. I like the way the guys take criticism and try to improve. And that's kind of been our main focus is let's just focus on improving and getting better, and we'll see where that goes.
Along those lines, I mean, you did drop points to two teams below the playoff line, and then, like you said, like even when you have been getting the results, it feels like you've said a lot of the same things, like you're not putting it all together. What is it about this team that still makes you believe there is that next level? Because it seems like you're still trying to get there.
Well, I don't care about who we're dropping points to. We're dropping points, whether it's the top of the table or the bottom of the table. That to me doesn't matter. It's more about us and dropping points. That's the message there. What makes me believe is we have a good team and we have a good group of players with a good hunger to improve, and everybody knows it and is aware of it. I don't think we're delusional about where we're at. So we're far enough into it where we know we should see more consistency, and that's what we're going to aim for. But, here we are. I think I don't know what the results did to our positioning after that last set of games, but we're talking as if we're in last place sometimes, and that's not the case. We're still in a pretty good position, and we know we can get better.
I guess that's kind of my point. It does feel like we keep talking like it's a team that's struggling, but you keep talking about the results, or like you guys are still getting results. So I guess that's, I don't know.
We know how to win games. We've shown that. We know how to win games, but we can be more consistent in our play. That's the simplest way to put it.
And then just looking at DC, what stands out to you from previous matchup and what you've seen from them lately?
I think structure-wise, a lot of similarities. A big key has been the absence of Benteke from our previous matchup. So he's a key piece. I don't know if he'll be back. He hasn't featured for them. So in his absence, what does it look like? The difference of how elite he is in direct play. They lose a little bit of that, but, I still think when you look at even their recent games, a lot of the way they play and, how dangerous they are at getting service into the box and having willing runners, that's something that we need to be mindful of. Defensively, I think their press has been really strong. You look at we looked at specifically the Red Bull game and the New England game. I thought the New England game, their pressure was outstanding, so we need to be prepared for that. And all of those are similarities to what we saw in our first matchup. So where it's different from our last two games is they're going to step up in a more aggressive way, and we need to be with good ideas as far as how to break that press to be able to try to move up the field. And if we're not prepared for it, then it becomes a transition game.
I wanted to maybe ask a follow-up. You were mentioning that there were games in which the defenses looked really strong, but the movement with the ball hasn't been there. You haven't been able to put it all together. Is that a growing pain? Is that the not putting too much focus on one thing and not the other, and it's not working collectively? Or is it a not quite sure why it's happening, it's just not consistent?
Well, when we're defending well, we talk about that, and we talk about how do we get a little bit better with the ball to find the balance. The last two games, there has been more of an emphasis on some improvements with the ball. Excuse me, and we've seen that. Defensively, we're conceding too many goals, but when I look at the Dallas game specifically, how we lose momentum and the goals that we concede, the first and the second are pretty clear about what went wrong. And so outside of that, I actually think we had a pretty strong game defensively. But when you make mistakes that you can't recover from and you concede goals, that's the talking point, and that's what we need to eliminate. So for me, very, very fixable things that we're seeing. And it's a two-game stretch where we conceded too many goals. And are we going to put too much of an emphasis on that? I don't know. We have to address it, and so we'll see if we can put it all together, like I said.
We've seen Kamar and late in games. Is he to a point where you think he could be starting soon? Like, where is he physically?
Physically, he could start.
Is that?
It's always a possibility. Guys got to earn starting minutes, and so Kai's done a really good job. And I think in this past game, we did a better job with his presence of, a couple of the crossing moments to utilize his strengths.
What does he bring as far as just, I guess more, it seems like we talk about some of the leaders on defense with like Matt and when Nick was available, like the energy he brought. Is Kai someone that can kind of bring that to the attack? Do you feel like you need someone, I know he's more of a veteran presence up there. Like, do you feel like that's something that can help you guys just as far as kind of guiding players where they need to be, kind of when you guys are looking for more out of some of the other players outside of Denke and Evander?
Kai's a good experienced player that observes the game, and when he sees things, he asks questions. He talks about and with his teammates to try to find advantages to help them out. So he's been a good presence as far as using his own experiences to try to help out his teammates.
I guess more my question is, do you feel like in your attack right now you have someone that can just kind of take over and tell guys, like, this is what we need? Because it feels like like I said, we've talked about that with Matt and Nick of the defense, but do you feel like you have that in the attack, someone that can kind of just step up and be that vocal leader?
We're all kind of talking and helping each other out. I don't think Kai needs to be that. We have coaches and players that understand different ways to guide our attacking pieces. But Kai's, like I said, he has a good experience and he's helped his teammates and ask good questions. I don't know if you want to call him the guy that Matt and Nick are as far as their leadership. He has leadership qualities and he looks to help the team.
Pat, after the match on Wednesday, Pavel said that he felt like sometimes you were too nice on the team, that you take things on your shoulders too often. Mm-hmm. Hearing that, how do you, what does that mean to you, and what does that say about a person like Pavel in the way he says that after a match like that?
I don't know how the question was phrased for him to have said that. What too nice means, sometimes I'll take ownership when I know I could have done a better job before I, put blame on players, and I'm not going to blame the players publicly. They'll know privately how I feel. And when we talk as a team and areas that I'm not pleased with or they need to hear about it, maybe that's where I'm not as nice. I don't know, but there's times where it's okay to take the pressure off of players and understand that I'm the manager of the team, so it falls on the leader, and if they're not playing their best or if the game doesn't look the way we want it to, I can't just accept that it's the player's fault. It's all of us in it together, and that's how I typically handle some of those moments. So I would say nice is not probably how they all think of me, but again, I don't know what the question was and how nice is meant in terms of his message.
Are there times where you feel like, because you said you don't want to put blame on the players publicly, are there times where maybe they need that?
No. Different ways to let players know, how you feel and what you see. So different coaches have different ways about it, but for me, it's not doing it publicly isn't for me the right way to let players know that you don't think they are performing or they made a mistake that affected the team. That's a one-on-one conversation, and they'll know it from me, but not through the media. Thanks.
Thank you very much.